Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. Welcome back to the range. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at this CCI Uppercut 22 long rifle self-defense ammunition. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying that this is an unsponsored video. The ammunition and the Clear Ballistics 10% gel block were purchased with Patreon funds, so there's no reason for me to skew the results of this video one way or the other. So I just wanted to say that before somebody accuses me of it, though they probably will anyway. This is YouTube. People are going to do what they're going to do. But this stuff is designed for semi-auto pistols and optimized for barrels from 2.5 to 4 inches. Seeing that, I immediately thought of my KEL-TEC P17. I shoot this little pistol a lot. It's a joy to shoot. I really enjoy this little pistol. And it's a budget pistol. It has a 3.8 inch barrel, so this is going to represent the 4-inch barrel class. I will be testing this ammunition with other barrel lengths as we go along, but today's video is going to be focused on the CCI Uppercut with the KEL-TEC P17. For those not familiar with the P17, at less than 14 ounces fully loaded and barely longer than a dollar bill, the P17 is concealable for pretty much anyone. Don't let the small size fool you. This little pistol is a tack driver. The excellent trigger, fiber optic front sight, and adjustable rear sight help you extend the P17's range. It's a handy little 22 LR that builds confidence and burns bullseyes. Okay, so those aren't my words. I'm actually reading a post that KEL-TEC made the other day on their Facebook page describing the P17. And if you want to know what I thought about the pistol, I do have a review of this pistol posted, and I'll have it linked in the description below. But let's get on with the ammo testing. So above all else, reliability is king. We want to see if this stuff will run in the P17 first. So we'll put 100 rounds through it. They won't take long. The P17 does come with 3 16-round magazines, so we'll make quick work of this. But the Uppercut ammunition does have a thick enough copper jacket on it that it doesn't require any kind of wax lube or anything, so it's supposed to run cleaner. Doesn't have any kind of wax buildup in the gun. So we'll kind of test that, I guess. Although I've never had any kind of issues with the P17 running ammunition that does have wax on it, so there's that. So I didn't get too crazy with the cleaning, but I did take a rag and wiped everything out. We'll take a look at it again after 100 rounds and see how dirty it gets. Here's a look at the bolt face. All right, let's shoot it. So I was counting my rounds left over in the box and I noticed the count was off. So I had put only 15 rounds in each magazine. I have corrected that. And on this first run, I've actually went ahead and put 1 in the chamber. So I've got 16 plus 1. And on my P17, I don't know about all of them, it is really tight to get that magazine in there and get 16 plus 1. When I carry it, I usually carry it 15 plus 1. But on this run, I'm going to go 16 plus 1. All right, 1 magazine down. So for the rest of this 100 round trial, I'm just going to go with the 16 round magazine. 2 magazines down. And that leaves me with 3 rounds. %. Okay, so 100 for 100. It doesn't get much better than that. Kind of boring test so far. You know, as a video maker, I want things to happen. I want things to show you guys. So far, not really anything interesting to show you. Let's take a look and see how dirty that stuff is. It ran really clean. 100 rounds of CCI Uppercut and very little powder residue, no more than what I would expect. Looks like it runs fairly clean. Got my phone flashlight here, trying to get some extra light on this so we can see it through the camera lens. But yeah, seems to run really clean. So let me show you this ammunition up close and explain to you what I think this ammunition is. So what I've got set up for you guys here is a Speer Gold Dot 22 Magnum 40 grain jacketed hollow point. Beside it is the CCI Uppercut 32 grain jacketed hollow point. This one is the Stinger 32 grain copper plated hollow point. And beside that is a CCI Mini Mag. I've just got it here for case length reference. Speer and CCI are under the same umbrella. They can share technologies and work together on stuff like this. It uses the Stinger case length. Has the longer case length than a standard 22 long rifle. That's why I have this here so you can see that. So I'm done with that now. But they've took the skived copper jacket from the Speer Gold Dot and put it on the Stinger basically. And you've got the Uppercut. And I'm sure they're probably using a faster burning powder propellant to get that bullet to take off faster in a short barrel than the Stinger uses. So to sum it up and put it in a nutshell, in my opinion, the CCI Uppercut is a copper jacketed Stinger, probably propelled by a pistol powder. I've also pulled these bullets for you to take a look at just the bullets. This is the Speer Gold Dot, this is the Uppercut, this is the Stinger. Notice the 22 long rifle bullets are the older heeled bullet design. They've got the small heel on the bullets to sit down in the case. These Uppercut bullets do have a pretty thick jacket on them, and I wanted to show you guys that, so I put the Uppercut alongside the Stinger, which has the standard copper plating that you see on most 22 long rifle copper plated bullets, alongside each other in my vise, and ran a file across both of them to give you guys an idea of just how thick that copper plating is, how much filing it took to remove the copper plating from the Stinger bullet versus the Uppercut bullet. And it took quite a bit to remove an equal amount from the uppercut bullet as it did from the Stinger. The Stinger, it just wiped right off. My favorite targets to shoot are steel targets, but when evaluating 22 long rifle ammunition, I like to shoot paper just to make sure my bullets aren't doing anything funky like yawing or key holding. So I've got a cardboard target set up there at 10 yards. I've got 15 rounds in my magazine, and there is one hole in that target already. Let's make sure these bullets aren't doing anything funky. Looks like they're all very stable, hitting nose first. Don't see any of them hitting kind of at an angle. They all look good. And that's actually the second time I've done that. The first time I forgot to turn the camera on, but here's that target. But they all look good. And that's plenty accurate too. That's 10 yards, and they're all where they need to be. Okay, it's time to see what kind of velocity we're getting out of this 3.8-inch barrel. The box advertises it at 950 feet per second. Let's see what we're actually getting. Got a couple of misreads there, so I'm going to fire a couple extra shots. Alright, that should give us enough numbers to work with. Alright, so I fired 8 shots, and out of those 8 shots, I got 6 good readings. I took those 6 numbers and got an average velocity of about 973 feet per second with a standard deviation of about 38. This is not a hot rod hypervelocity round, at least not out of a pistol. In fact, it didn't strike me as that fast at all, especially for a 32 grain bullet. So I got these Federal bulk pack rounds out. This 36 grain hollow point, just what used to be the cheap stuff. You know, nothing's cheap anymore, but I shot 5 of these over the chronograph off camera just to get an average to see what they were doing. And with these, I got an average velocity of 985 feet per second with a standard deviation of 25. So these are in fact faster than the CCI Uppercut, which is only a 32 grain bullet. So just to reiterate, this is not a hot rod hyper velocity round. You're not going to get any more velocity out of this round than you would any other standard 22 long rifle high velocity round, at least not in a short pistol barrel, even though you've got a lighter weight bullet. What it is you've got that harder copper jacket on that bullet, so it's harder to start that copper jacket into the lands and grooves of the bore, and it just takes more energy, more pressure to drive that bullet down the bore, and you don't have much bore to work with on a pistol. And I'm assuming that's why they don't recommend this for revolvers. You don't have much gases to work with in that little 22 long rifle cartridge. There's not much powder in there. When it burns off, you don't have much gas to work with. So if you leak it out the cylinder gap, you might not get enough velocity for that bullet to expand out of a revolver. And if that bullet doesn't expand, you've lost all the magic, because everything about this round is based on that expansion. So let's move on to the Ballistic's gel block and see what that looks like. I've got us a brand new clear Ballistic's 10% block set up here at the table. We'll start out by shooting into the bare gel block, see how that goes. Then we'll add some Denim, and shoot through the denim into the gel. All right, first shot into the bare gel block. All right, so here's where it went in. And I was holding to the right of the block intentionally. I need to leave some room here for the rest of our testing. But look at this. Nice long wound track. But that bullet didn't expand. I mean, the nose, the petals started to open up, but just barely. This is best case scenario. That stuff is made for 2.5 to 4 inch barrels. We're using dang near 4-inch barrel. Bare gel block. There's nothing here to impede that hollow point from expanding. This is best case scenario. And that bullet failed to expand. That's not good. I don't like that. But I'm going to shoot this again. Shoot the bare gel block again, just to see if that was a fluke. But we're not off to a good start on the gel block. Oh yeah, that was about 9 3/4 inches penetration without expansion. All right, bare gel block, take 2. All right, so this one went in here. Gave us a much better wound cavity. Looks like we had some tumbling through here. But look at this. Still no expansion. See what kind of penetration. We got more penetration that time. But if I was after penetration, I'd be shooting federal punch. Looks like we got about 10.5 inches or so of penetration. We did have some bounce back. Looks like it penetrated all the way to about 11.5 inches and bounced back to about 10.5 inches. But like I said, if I was after purely penetration, I'd be shooting federal punch here, not CCI uppercut. This stuff is just not expanding as advertised. Well, let's put the denim in front of it and see what that does. All right, I've got 2 layers of denim in front of the gel block. Let's see what this does. I'm pretty disappointed. This stuff, it works so good in this pistol, runs so clean. The pistol functions great with it, and now it's not working as it's advertised to work. But let's see if it'll work in the denim. I'm going to go ahead and place 2 shots in there. First shot went in here, second shot here. Come around here and see. We did get a couple of nice little temporary wound cavities. Penetration on par with the first shot. Get my handy dandy tape measure out here. Second shot, about 8 3/4 inches. First shot was about 9.5 to 9 3/4 inches. And there's some bounce back in there. I'm not measuring that. It's just 0 expansion. Wow. This might be the most anticlimactic video that I have made. I had high hopes for this stuff. But that is why I like to do my own testing and not rely on the paid guys, you know. You never know what you're being fed. I prefer, on these small caliber rounds like 22, 32, 25, I prefer penetration over expansion. But I wanted to test this expansion and just see how it looked and see what I thought about it in the gel. But it's not there. We're not getting it. All right, so I had planned on shooting a couple of different types of hollow points into the gel block to show the difference in expansion between the CCI Uppercut and those, since it would be more of an apples to apples. And I wasn't going to shoot the Federal Punch in there since it's made for penetration. But now, since we know the CCI Uppercut is a non-expanding bullet and it's playing the penetration game, I figure now it's fair to compare it against the Federal Punch. Now it's an apples to apples comparison with the Federal Punch. So let's just see who's giving us more penetration, since they're both non-expanding bullets at this point. All right, just for the heck of it, I put 4 Federal Punches on this side of the block. One here, 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 and here. We come over the top. Now the Federal Punch is just a 29 grain flat nose bullet. Doesn't leave much of a wound cavity, just pokes a deep hole. You can see they're the nickel plated bullets way out front here. Far better at doing their job than the CCI Uppercut is of doing its job. Penetrates really nice. You can see if we come around to the side, these are the uppercuts. Way out here are the Federal Punch. Let me get my tape measure out of my pocket. The Federal Punch penetrated one of them out to almost 14 inches, the other a little over 13. One at about 12 and a half, and then one at about 11 and a half, but it bounced back from about 12 and a half. So with the Federal Punch, you're getting that over that 12-inch penetration in 10% gel that everybody looks for. With the Uppercut, you are not. And with the Uppercut, you're not getting any expansion either. So there's no benefit to the Uppercut, at least this lot number that I've got my hands on here. Now it does tumble, it appears to tumble and give a little better temporary wound cavity, but not enough trade-off to win me over at all. Wow, look at that. I'll cut these out of the gel block and meet you guys over at the table. Okay, so my plan was to measure these with calipers, see how much expansion we got, put them on a scale, see what kind of weight retention we got. But I don't need to do any of that. We didn't have any expansion. There's certainly no weight loss. There was no reason for them to shed any weight. The only one that even tried to open up was that first shot I took. One of the petals tried to peel back just a little bit there. That was the first shot I took in the bare gel. The rest of them, other than the rifling marks, looked like I just pulled them from the case. Just a total failure of what they were designed to do. And I know I said earlier in the video that I would test these in some other barrel lengths, some other firearms, and see how they performed. But I did not realize that they would fail today's test so poorly. I tested them today under the optimum barrel length. You know, it's made from 2.5 to 4 inch. We used the 4-inch barrel today, 3.8 inch. And I tested them under optimal conditions, and it failed this poorly. There's no point in me testing these in a shorter barrel. They're not going to do better. So this will be the only video that I post on the CCI Uppercut, unless something, you know, something that I don't know about pops up that changes my mind. That there's just no point in posting another video about these, unless, like I say, an update comes out that I'm unaware of right now. It's a shame, really. I was hoping for better. You know, I've been a CCI fan since I was big enough to sit on my daddy's lap and hold a .22 rifle. Every 22 video that I've posted here in the last 12 years, you know, I've always mentioned and spoke highly of CCI, and I still will. They make great products. Just this particular one really let me down. On a positive note, if I were evaluating the little KEL-TEC P17 today, it passed with flying colors. It loved that ammunition. It gobbled it up. Didn't have a single issue today. In fact, if someone were to tell me I had to carry either the CCI Uppercut ammunition or some unknown ammunition that I haven't tried in this gun, but it was guaranteed to perform better in ballistics gel than the CCI Uppercut, I would still choose the CCI Uppercut because of how well it ran in this gun. You got to remember that reliability is king, and especially in these little 22s, they can be so finicky. Any gun you need to make sure that it runs the ammo, but these little 22s can be so finicky. This gun might run that ammo, and another P17 just like it might not. And it might run that ammo, but it might not run another brand of ammo. You know, it just, you gotta shoot what you're going to run in it and make sure it likes it. I keep saying it, reliability is king. But the ammo didn't work out today. It didn't do what it was advertised to do. Didn't expand at all. If you're going to carry an ammo for penetration, there are better options out there than CCI Uppercut. I wish it would have worked out, but I am glad that I saw it with my own eyes that it didn't. There will be people in the comments, anytime something doesn't go like it's supposed to, people come out and defend the company. If they're, you know, you get fanboys of everything. I don't like to use that word. That's a weird word, isn't it? Fanboys. But you get fans of different things. They get attached to it. There will be fans of this ammunition that'll come in. They'll say they'll come up with little things. They'll say I was too far from the gel. I was too close to the gel. My gel block wasn't calibrated properly. They'll come up with a ton of excuses. You'll see it in the comments. If this video, after it's been up for a while, they'll come in there. But just know I brought you an honest, fair video, the best that I could to the best of my abilities. I don't want to see anybody carrying ammunition that they think is going to perform a certain way, but in actuality it won't. And that's why I do these things. And I do it for myself, but then I post them here on YouTube so that you guys can see them as well, and you can do your takeaway from it. And it, you know, it's very possible that was a bad lot number, but this stuff is brand new. They just came out with this. It's highly unlikely that it's a bad lot number, at least in my mind. You guys, you can make your own decision on that. And if you've got your own testing stuff, you know, you do your own tests with it, you know. I highly encourage that. But I guess that's about all I've got for this video. You guys always remember, if somebody asks you to give up a little of your freedom for the greater good, that freedom is the greater good. I'll talk at y'all again soon.